Hi, thanks for joining. I'm Sophia Olivas, co-founder and CEO of EverSmart City. EverSmart City is a mixed-use IRL smart community built with shipping containers to provide affordable housing powered by renewable energy. It has sustainable agriculture and is integrated with blockchain technology. The pilot city will be built in Phoenix, Arizona, breaking ground in 2023.
And my name is Mark Anthony, co-founder of EverSmart City. And if this is your first time seeing one of our videos, make sure to hit the like button and also subscribe. We're dropping videos like this on a daily basis, so make sure to hit the notification bell so you can get an alert every time we go live and drop a new video. As well as check out all of our past videos. We have a bunch of videos, a bunch of content. And if you like talking about sustainable development, you like talking about renewable energy, you like talking about sustainable gardening, greenhouses, crypto or blockchain or NFTs or shipping containers or entrepreneurship, anything like that, jump in our Discord. That's where we continue all these conversations. And we love to meet and collaborate with new people and learn new stuff. So make sure to jump in the Discord, share some new information, some articles with us. We'd love to meet you, introduce yourself. And if you have questions, drop them in the Discord. We come back here and we make videos answering some of the questions from the Discord. So we do address your questions right here, just like this. So
Yep,
without
and
further
this
ado,
episode is dedicated to vertical gardening. So we're going to be answering questions from the community. Before we go into them, we just want to talk about the vertical gardening that will be taking place in EverSmart City. So we are going to produce enough in about a 20,000 square foot um, greenhouse area to produce enough food for over 1,000 residents, over 200 small businesses that will be within the community in the development, and still have enough for farmers markets and providing for food outside in the surrounding communities. So, question number one: what is beyond organic?
so Beyond Organic isn't just not only growing natural foods fresh, it's also non GMO, no pesticides, no chemicals, all natural ingredients, as well as things that are used to treat the produce both while it's a seed, while it's in the dirt, and after it's harvested, and no preservatives after it's harvested to help give it a longer shelf life. Beyond Organic is as close to all natural, straight from the dirt uh, as you can get.
That's correct. And also, if you guys are looking to get very formal about it, beyond organic, in a nutshell, the word refers to products grown or processed using techniques that go beyond the standards required for organic certification. So at EverSmart, our thing is to be able to use and partner up with and collaborate with our partners, such as algae fertilizer, that's produced and that actually is carbon negative. It actually traps and reduces carbon from the atmosphere. So things like that. All right. So the next question, and we look forward to doing an episode on that. Next question: what is vertical agriculture?
The vertical agriculture and vertical gardening is a very unique style of gardening. It's actually a way that is now used on purpose, but emulates a way of nature. A lot of times, there are certain produce or certain plants that do grow vertically. Sometimes we'll see them in nature and from grapevines or tomatoes, where the vines will grow up a fence or grow up a wall or a tree. Vertical gardening takes that same philosophy where the gardening is done vertically, sometimes hanging from buckets instead of sitting in a flower pot. It's hanging from one upside down. Sometimes you'll see those a lot with people growing tomatoes. One of the big advantages is for vertical gardening is space. Using instead of the space, on the floor and going outwards, you're using the space going up and down, and using that space vertically as space to garden, which is very um, useful in high density urban populations where there may not be a lot of space for farming. Maybe somebody lives in an apartment or a condo, but they still want to grow their own tomatoes or other produce. Using a growing system like vertical gardening, they could grow something in a space as small as a closet or on a balcony or patio, and have as enough space just using that vertical space as they could an entire garden.
Yes, and it's just a way of, um, growing vertically versus horizontal, like the normal standard way. And it also looks really super cool. Again, we'll drop some pictures in our Discord channel because it just looks amazing when you go in it to just look for as high as you can and just see all this lovely, yummy stuff that you just want to munch into. All right, so our next question. Oh, this is a fun one that we get. So, is black water safe to use in developments? So, before you answer that question, at EverSmart City, we do water reclamation and we do gray water recycling and black water recycling. So that's where this question is coming from. So, Mark, is black water safe to use in developments, in
So depending
residential
on how the
developments, I guess?
right, depending on how the black water is used, it can definitely be saved, and it can't be used for everything. So black water is water that typically should not be reused. Sometimes there's hazardous chemicals in it. Sometimes it's water from the toilet. Um, but that water can still be filtered, boiled, um, and broken back down again and be used in other ways that are not used for potable reasons by any means. But maybe it could be used in ways, let's say, again, in a toilet after it's been cleaned and filtered, or in a hose to wash a car. Things that won't be used for, say, you wouldn't want to water your lawn with it because there could still be harmful chemicals. You wouldn't want to definitely wash your dishes or use it in the sink. But there is some applications where it still could be safe to use in certain applications. And it's a great resource to be able to take water that typically can never be reused, and is completely essentially waste at that point, and finding a way to reuse and not just recycle but refilter and reclean it, and find a way to use it again.
Yeah, and black water, as just stress, it should never be used for human consumption, for anything that where it's going to be for human consumption, but it can be used as part of an innovative lawn irrigation system. Alternatively, you could reroute some of the plumbing in your home so that the treated black water can be sent back for toilets and flushing purposes. So there's a really great example of this system. There's some in California that work really, really well and that are really highly certified. Another one of my favorite ones, are the Earth ships that are in Taos, New Mexico. All of Michael's Earth ships, they're fully sustainable and they utilize gray and black water. So gray in the toilets and black waters. And the way that he refilters them, he does it through a natural process of using rocks, minerals, soils, and it goes through several layers before it goes back out and gets used for irrigating of the plants and different vegetation. So it's phenomenal stuff. And there's a lot of great science that goes behind it to make sure that we are all protected. So, last question. What's the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics?
Now, those two systems are very interesting because it's a very different way to grow. It reminds me of a lot of the mangroves in Florida, where these plants and vegetation actually grow floating in water instead of the roots being buried in dirt. In these type of systems, there's, say, a shelf where the plants sit in these baskets or buckets on top of the surface of the water, and they let the roots fall down into the water. So you technically don't need to ever water your plants because the roots are always being used with water. Now, the two differences between these systems is essentially how you fertilize that water and fertilize your plants. Now, with aquaponics, that way is you actually have live fish inside the system, and the fish create its own ecosystem or its own habitat within the system where you have other certain plants that they can eat, and then their natural fish waste, urine and poop, goes into the water as well naturally. And there's other plants that can be used in that water to help filter that, take out carbon. It almost treats it like a natural pond or a river where everything kind of just works together in unison naturally, without any other human influence, just using different plants and organisms and fish inside already natural habitats and emulating that same type of process in a controlled climate and allowing the plants and the fish to live cohesively and fertilize each other. Whereas a hydroponic system has no fish in it. It's a system where it's more controlled, where you can basically you, fertilize the water itself with fertilizer of your choice. There's obviously chemical based vertical fertilizers, and there's all natural fertilizers that you can use. It just comes down to choice, but you would be fertilizing it yourself and monitoring the system. Just no fish at all in a hydroponic system or an aquaponic system, all natural, and it has live fish in the system that fertilize the plants.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways to get involved in vertical gardening at your house. There's so many systems, and you can start for as low as $15 on Amazon. So just look up vertical gardening in Amazon, and they've got these tiered things, and you can go into places like Lowe's for 40 bucks. They've got some that are a little bit more bigger and that you can put in standalone. You can put them out on your porch, your balcony. Some of them you can even have grow lights in and put them and keep them inside so that if you're in the cold places on earth during the winter, or even really hot places during the summer, that you can grow year round. So thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to continuing this conversation in our Discord. Thank you for joining EverSmart City, where technology enhances the human